Who is the Robert Redford of this generation? Now, before we get into it, we first off got to pay our respects. So, RIP to one of the greatest to ever do it. Robert Redford not only was an icon, but he was a figure that crossed over several generations. He has content spanning across nearly 7 decades, which is insane to think about. This feat was only possible since he got into the game in his 20s, and obviously his longevity really made that possible. His impact was felt on the screen, behind the camera, in the environmental spectrum, as well as philanthropic works. All right, now let's get into it. Who emulates Robert Redford the best in this world right now, in movies, TV, the entertainment industry? Who's doing it the best? There's 2 names that really pop off to me. One's Brad Pitt, the other is Matthew McConaughey. Let me give you each of their cases, and then I'll let you make the decision on who you think is the current day Robert Redford. Maybe it's neither. Maybe it's a different one. But for right now, let's talk about Brad Pitt. So right off the bat, he has similar physical features as Robert Redford. Like, you look at the hair, the bone structure, the face, the silhouette. A lot of things really check out between the two. So not only that, but they both have pretty much the same presence on screen. I know some people might get triggered by that, thinking that Brad Pitt couldn't even sniff Robert Redford's greatness, but let's be honest, their presence is very similar on screen, regardless of what the movie is. Speaking of movies, they also have a variety of genres that each of them have conquered. They've done the silly rom-com stuff like that. They've done westerns, more serious, dramatic roles, sometimes more discovery type of roles where they're just kind of learning as the movie goes on. I think the conquering of genres is shared between both Brad Pitt and Robert Redford. Then there's Matthew McConaughey. Now, let's be honest. Him and Brad Pitt are both very similar. This is not a video comparing the two, but it's a video comparing each of them individually to Robert Redford. And it's impossible to do that without somewhat copy and pasting their similarities. But I'm going to try to give you a few distinct differences for Matthew. So he also has a variance of roles taken, kind of similar to the genres conquered, but I'd like to say his roles are very vast. Like, early in Matthew's career, it was almost strictly silly, goofy rom-com action. And then at some point he turned over to Lincoln Lawyer, to Interstellar, to there's a few other good ones. I'm blanking right now, but you know what I'm saying. Matthew really diversified as he got older, as did Robert Redford. On top of that, I think McConaughey's strong point in the comparison is the fact that he embodies the cowboy aesthetic, and I think that binds the two with their physical similarities. Obviously, Matthew's body and face don't really resemble Robert Redford as much as Brad Pitt's does, but the cowboy western aesthetic that is truly Matthew McConaughey also resonates with Robert Redford, who, you know, the Sundance Kid. He has plenty of other westerns as well, but that's very synonymous with him. Those are my top 2 candidates for the Robert Redford of this generation. Maybe it's spot on. Maybe I got a few similarities here and there. Maybe I'm dead wrong. If I am, give me a name. Give me someone that embodies Robert Redford far better than Brad Pitt and Matthew McConaughey. There's probably a sleeper pick out there that completely went over my head, but I think this is a solid start for making a comparison. So enough yapping out of me. These are my thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comments, and please hit that sub button. Catch y'all later.